Today I'm going to do a short walk around and review of the Branson 5020C tractor. And let's start from the front with the front loader. I've got this Branson BL25R front loader with the lifting capacity of, if I remember correctly, it was 800 kilos, but I'm not completely sure. But anyway, it's a really good loader. I've got these auxiliary hydraulics here, but those are not from the factory. We have put them on ourselves. It's got, well, this level showing gauge that you can see if you don't know what this is. When that notch is correctly in here, then the bucket is level, which is a really good thing for people who work a lot with front loaders. It's got, this one has got the European standard quick hitch attachment for front loaders. It's got leveling arms, which is nice, but it also removes a bit of movement in the front. But it's, if you load a lot of bales or plates, cargo plates, or what do you call these things? Well, anyway, it's a lot. It's nice when you have leveling arms then. It's got quick attach for the front loader, so you can take it off, put these down, and you only take this floating pin away. And here on the other side, you have these hydraulic quick connections you take off, and this cable is for the auxiliary hydraulics. And then you're supposed to just back off away from it. I have never taken it off myself, just because I have never had any need for taking it off. Then let's go to the engine. It's got a real nice steel hood, which is of a high quality, and it has got over here, this is the hood release. And these, sorry for that, these frames, or what you can call this, for protecting the hood, you can fold it in front by pulling this out here and pulling it forward, but I don't really need to do that. I get all the access also here. The battery in the front, AC compressor, air box, radiators and everything like that, coolant. And one thing that I don't like with this engine is that it gets pretty easily overheated. As you can see, it's a lot like a car's engine. Everything's built in. You can see like this. To get to a radiator, you have to take the airbox out and then lift this out of the way to get behind to this part of the radiator. And it hasn't got, or well, it does have here a mesh in front of the radiator, engine coolant radiator, that you can take out to clean it. But you already have this radiator in front, and you have to take the airbox out and this part out to get it. And I don't really like that, but if you take sometimes with a compressor and just blow the dust off, it's going to be okay. But oh, sorry about that. And then there is this is a 5020 tractor with this 47 horsepower ordinary 4-cylinder straight diesel engine. But the Branson 5022 is turbocharged with what means it's 52 horsepower, if I remember correctly. Then there's one more thing that I don't really like, but I haven't any problems with it, because I do a lot of dry hay, and the mufflers down here, this I have put on myself, because as you can see, it becomes all dirty and well, dirty in front of here. And I put this on so that the gases would go a bit more down. I guess there's a spark catcher somewhere in between here, but still I do not like the muffler being down here and blowing the hot fumes down into the hay if I'm going with a with a long dry hair it can catch fire, which, well, isn't good. What else? This engine has, well, what does it have? It's an ordinary diesel engine, just that it's made a bit more like car engines than old tractor engines. Everything's built in, as you can see here, covered a bit with plastics and tried to make it fancy. But anyway, it's a good engine. I'm not complaining over it. But one thing that I have had a bit of problems with, or not really problems, but sometimes when it's a bit colder, it can be a bit cranky to start. It will start, but you have to crank it sometime and give it some preheating a couple of times. But I'll explain that a bit later. It's got these two-sided, here you can see one side, and here the other side, the two-sided plastic diesel tank. And it's a really nice tank. It's I think it's 40 liters, but I'm not sure. This is all off the top of my head. It's got a nice position for refueling. You don't have to put any barrels or jugs of diesel very high up to pour it in. But one thing for anyone who gets this tractor, first thing to do, take this off, and see around here this seal, put some ordinary grease or something on it, because or else this rubber will dry out and this will stick like hell. Me and my uncle, who is a, well, big strong man, we can't get this off. We need 3 men to get that cap off, and we almost thought we were going to have to break it off to refuel it. Then let's move to a cab. It's got a nice glass cab. Well, let's first go outside around the cab. It's got 2 of these work lights in front and 2 in the back. They're okay if you have to do a bit of work outside in the dark. But if you're planning to do a lot of work, you know you're going to work a lot in the dark, I would suggest to you to get something a bit better. They work, but they're not the greatest. And yes, I broke my antenna off in the forest while backing up some branch caught in it, but the antenna was so short, and I live out on an island in the middle of the ocean, in the sea, so the radio signals were anyway crap. I couldn't hear the radio clearly. Well, what more? Same work lights in the back. What more? It's got window washers in the front and the back. Not just wipers, but window washers. And here you have the window washer tank. And one thing that you have hidden in behind here, oh sorry if you can see, here you have a backing up sound unit, which I have disconnected right now, which means that when you put the tractor in reverse, it's going to start beeping as a warning for anyone around the tractor. But it's so loud, you get so easily annoyed with it, and when I back up, the whole village will hear it. It's so annoying, so I just disconnected one cable. But if I'm going to, for instance, be on doing some construction with people around, I will connect it back in so people will know I'm backing up. Here's it got 2 hydraulic outlets. One is with floating push system, one is without. The 3-point hitch lifting capacity, I think, if I remember correctly, is 1,300 kilos, or how to say 1.3 tons. What more? Over here you have the hydraulic, well, you don't see that, but there's the cap for the hydraulic oil. You have a measuring glass over there for the hydraulic, the PTO shaft. It's got these kind of arms for restraining the movement. You have here you can have a bit of movement and then 3 or 4 holes, so you can get it precisely. And these lifting arms are made real nice and heavy duty with 2 ears that hold, and not just with one side. If you guys have seen my other review of my old tractor, the DF404. And then moving on to here, you have these things that when you're connecting up, you can push these down, and these connection parts move out about 15 centimeters. So you could more easily hook the implement up, and when you're hooked up, you back up a bit, those go in and lock in place again, which is a real nice thing to have. Is there anything more here? Well, let's move on to the inside of the cab. And this is a small thing that I give as a tip for anyone. If you want to keep the tractor clean, take some doormat, poke some holes and put it onto a step, that when you step in you can take and wipe your shoes off quickly, so that you don't drag in so much dirt. One thing that I just remembered, these back tires, they have real high lugs. Well, now they have worn down a bit, but they are really high, and you have a really good turning radius with this tractor, which I will show you later. And trust me, you will rip up some dirt while turning with this tractor if you're not careful. Inside the cab, these mats here I have cut myself. Ordinarily there's this thick rubber mat on the floor, which is nice, but I wanted to make it a bit more homely, and I cut these out and put it on the 2 sides of the center. It's got a nice high back seat. Let me just get in here. It's got a seat belt, but I don't really use it because it's just annoying me. Well, here you have a lever to pull and move the steering wheel up or down for easier access in or out of the tractor. It's got a synchronized reverse. It's not electronic like on newer tractors or bigger tracks like this, but it's still synchronized, that you can put it forward and backwards still while you're moving. It's got a real nice instrument cluster, as you can see. Here's the hand throttle, the front loader, joystick. Here you have some kind of plastic thing that you can take away. I'm not really sure what you can put here, but I suspect that it might be something as for the hand, for an arm, to when you're working a lot with the front loader, but I don't know about that. Here you have the color-coded hydraulic outlets. As you can see, one of them has floating position, but one of them don't, but it's no problem. I got this with a nice Kenwood radio with 2 speakers, and because the tractor is so quiet, it gives you a really good sound still. Here you have the upper instrument cluster, how to say. Front work lights, rear work lights, front window wipers with if you press it all the way up, you get the windshield washer, and same in the back. Then there's the AC unit, which is really nice, and now we go back to a model name. This is a 5020C, which means cab with conditioner or something like that. The C models are with cabs and with air cons. Then there's the CX, which are with cabs but without ACs. And then there's a lot of other models without cabs and everything like that, which I don't really know about. And the AC is really nice and really powerful. Once I tried, just to test it, I turned it all the way down to cold and full AC, and after 10 minutes I could see my breath in the cab. It really got so cold. It's a really nice AC and I love it. You have 6 air vents around the tractor everywhere here. This rear view mirror, which is really nice to look back. side view mirrors. Oh, and here is the instrument cluster, how to say, for indicators, lights, and the horn. Well, here's the clutch, two brake pedals which are linked together, and here's the gas pedal. One thing that I think that the gas pedal might be a bit cheesy, as you can see, it's just a piece of steel. I think they could have made a better pedal, but in that way I'm not complaining. It works, it's nice, and everything like that. There are only actually two things I could, how to say, think that they could make this tractor better with. One is that if you're driving a long day in a bumpy field or doing something, you need all the time start hitting this lever, and after about an hour you get really sore. And once I just stopped and went out of the tractor, I got so beat up on my knee, I got bruises and everything from it. But if you keep your leg a bit away, it's no problem. And then the gas pedal, you could have done it nicer, but it works, it's no problem with it. Here you have some pockets to put things in, here, and I got a remote for the radio for some reason. Well, I don't really use it, but it's nice to have. A nice bottle or drink holder, which is really deep and sturdy with these rubbers. Here we have a bit bigger box to put things in. What more else? Here's the range shift. 1 to neutral 3, which means practically low, medium, high gears. Handbrake over here. Here we have just the 4 gears, which you can choose then high, low, and then what gear you want, and then if you want to go forward or reverse. Here we have the hydraulic lift all the way down. It's in floating, and then you just choose how high you want it up. Then you have the draft control over here, which well, I haven't used yet on this tractor, so I can't really say how good it is. Oh, and I just remembered a small thing. There's a light here if you want to read a map or something, I don't know. Then let's go down here in front of you. Here you have the PTO speeds. In the middle neutral, I don't really know why you would want it there, but anyway, you have 540 RPM and 540E, which means 540E, if I don't know what they called it in the instruction manual, it's 750 RPM, I think, on the PTO. And as you can see here on the instrument cluster, you have marks which show at what points you have what RPMs. That here you have 540, there you have 740 or something like that. I don't really know, I have to read the manual, but it's something like that. I just use the RPM I need to get the work done. Here you have the hazard light switch, and here is for the PTO switch, which you can choose to put on link, which means that now you have a two-stage clutch, that if you press it down halfway, the tractor will stop, and if you press it down to the bottom, the PTO will stop, and if you pull it up, the PTO will start, and a bit more the tractor will start to move. And then you have the independent, which means that the PTO is working all the time until you turn it off. One thing that I don't like with, I use independent all the time, but one thing I don't like with it, if you turn it on, and for instance I work with a flail mower a lot with hammers, it doesn't really ease it in, you just puts the gear in and that's it, and it can make the RPMs fall a bit and maybe make the tractor stall if you have really bad luck. I think they could have done it better. It's nice to have electronic, but I think they could have done it better by it easing the power on instead of just breaking it on at once. Here we have the lever for the front axle if you want four-wheel drive or just rear wheel drive. Here we have This you can screw on if you want faster or slower hydraulics, or if you want to close the hydraulics if you're doing something, some work with it. I don't know why. Here we have the pedal for the, I don't know if you see, but for the lighting, but here is a pedal for the rear axle differential lock, which you press down if you need to use it. And one thing that I found that I don't really like with this, which I found out a couple of days ago when I had to use the rear axle lock. If you stay, well, let's say you have a gear in and you hold the clutch in to stay, what are you going to press the lock with? Your other foot that you have to put the gas on, or when you release the pedal you have to quickly put it on here and everything. You can't ease and have it on. It just doesn't work. I don't really know how they thought of that. For instance, on the Dongfeng, the other tractor, it had over here under the right foot, so you still could use the clutch and use the differential lock, but over here you have it under the left leg. Well, what more is there? Openable, rear window. It opens really wide. Here we have a handle so you can get easier. You don't have to reach all the way over there. You can take it over here and close it. Yes, I have decorated the tractor a bit for myself to make it a bit more homely when you are many hours in the day in the tractor and working. And back to this. As I said, ordinary tractors have, the ordinary tractors cold start, they have either you push the key in or turn it to the left or don't really turn it on. And you have preheating in some kind, glow plugs or intake manifold heater for the winter if you want to give it extra heating. But this tractor only has cars that when you turn it on, it gives you here this spiral, a bit of preheating, and now you have to start it. A bit of preheating before you start the tractor, and that I have noticed that the time it glows depends on the temperature outside. But in the winter you still seem to have to give it a few times to glow before starting, so it would start easier. And even in the summer, sometimes when you start a tractor, even after giving it glowing time, it will puff out black smoke for some reason. I don't really know why. Then there's a really nice thing if you choose a tractor only in the summer. By pressing the clutch pedal in, and you pull this hook up and lock the pedal in place. If you either want for some reason the clutch to be separated, or as it says here behind, if the tractor is going to be stationary or in storage. Sorry, my phone is calling right now. I have to call them back later. Well, anyway. So if your tractor is in storage mode for a long time, you put that on so that the clutch, what's it called in English? The clutch lammels, or I don't know, plates don't stick. One moment. Sorry about that. That was my father wanting to know where I was and what I was doing. Well, and I have learned from my mistakes from my last video, which I got myself. I didn't really start the engine and drive with the tractor, but now I know and I will do it. Oh, and anyway, here we have, if anyone wants to know, the seat suspension. You can make it harder or lighter. And here you have a lever for moving the seat forward or backwards. And now let's start the tractor and go for a small ride around. As you can see, and you have to have, for the engine to start, you have to have the reverser. in neutral and the clutch depressed. Then you just turn the key, wait a moment for the glowing to stop. Why isn't it starting? What is it now? Why won't you start? Oh, sorry, I forgot the PTO on. You have to have the PTO. If I don't really... it's new to me too, it makes sense. I accidentally now, when I showed you, forgot it on. Well, I'll give it some more glowing so it will start easily. And I don't know how much you can hear, but... oh god damn it, the dog's here again. Wait one moment, please. Come on, you can make it. Come on, Ule, no. No, oh. Come on, you can make it. Forget it then. Well, sorry about that. I'm home alone right now, and no, there's no one to watch the dog, so she doesn't run out in front of the tractor. Well, anyway. Let's put her in gear and high range, first gear and forward. Let's creep a bit forward away from the wall and then I'll lift the flare mower up. So, and let's go. And right now I am driving on the idle speed. And it's raining a bit, so we'll put the front wipers on and just drive a bit. For all the time I have worked with this tractor, I don't really have a lot of hours on this one yet, but I love it. It's a really nice tractor for its size, for the 40 to 50 horsepower range. It's not extremely expensive for what it is. It's actually pretty, it's a good price for the tractor you get. And as I said, only things that I do not like with it is that you bump your knee into this lever and the gas pedal. I think they could have done a bit better, but that, as I said, are some small things. And another thing that I forgot to show, you have these things here which can fold out and the door latch will lock in them, so you have the doors open, but they are not really widely open or flap about. They're open about 15 centimeters, which is really nice. I don't really use it so often, but you have the option for it and it's really nice, and you can't break the window because there's a stopper in the front of it. Real nice things. They have really made, Branson has really made a good tractor here. I give it thumbs up. And well, right now I will show you the turning radius. If you can see the wheel here, I'll turn it all the way to the left. I don't know if you can see, but that wheel is turned all the way to the left. And if you turn with the wheels all the way like this, it can be a bit hard to get the tractor going because it's a bit heavy for it, but anyway. And if you turn with the wheels all the way to the right or left, then trust me, you will rip your grass up. It will just make black marks everywhere. But, well, as I said, this is a really good tractor. If you have any comments or questions about the tractor, please leave them in the comment section and I will answer them as good as I can. And if this is nothing to do with the tractor review, but I am just wondering if I would start to make videos about farming, anyways, about any kind of farming, how to mow with a flail mower, how to prepare a garden and everything about tractors, or just blog about working on the farm. Please leave a comment if you think that I should start doing that, or not. Well, that's all for me and the dog. Well, thank you for watching, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you.